Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Global English Podcast, where we make learning fun and easy. I'm your host, Lisa. Today, we'll be diving into a topic that's both exciting and challenging for many of our listeners: how to speak English well. Whether you're preparing for an interview, traveling, or simply looking to connect with more people worldwide, improving your English speaking skills is always a great idea. To help us break down this topic, we have a special guest with us, John, an experienced English coach who has helped countless students become confident English speakers. Hi, John.
Hi, Lisa. Thank you for having me. I'm thrilled to be here and share tips that can help our listeners speak English with confidence.
Fantastic! So stick around, everyone, because today's episode is packed with practical advice, fun facts, and more. Let's get started. Here's the expanded main discussion section with more depth and actionable details. So, John, when we talk about learning to speak English well, where do we even begin?
Great question, Lisa. The first step is building confidence. Many learners struggle not because they lack vocabulary or grammar, but because they fear making mistakes. My advice? Make mistakes. It's part of the process.
That's such a good point. I always say, mistakes are proof that you're trying. But I think for a lot of learners, the fear of being judged stops them. How can they overcome that?
You're absolutely right, Lisa. Fear of judgment is a major obstacle. One tip I give my students is to shift their mindset. Instead of worrying about sounding perfect, focus on expressing your thoughts clearly. Think of speaking as a way to connect, not to impress. Another thing that helps is starting in a safe environment. Practice speaking English with friends, family, or even in front of a mirror. The key is to feel comfortable making mistakes, especially in low-pressure situations.
That's great advice. But let's get specific. You mentioned shadowing earlier. What exactly is it, and why is it so effective?
Shadowing is one of my favorite techniques, Lisa. It's where you listen to a native speaker and repeat what they say as quickly and accurately as possible. It's like following someone's shadow. It's not just about the words, but also their rhythm, tone, and pronunciation.
That sounds interesting, but is it difficult for beginners?
Not at all. Shadowing is actually very flexible and can be adjusted to any level. For beginners, you can start with simple sentences or common phrases. For example, listen to something like, "What's your name?" or "Can I help you?" and repeat them.
Oh, I see. So you're not just practicing words, but also the natural flow of speaking?
Exactly. Shadowing improves more than just pronunciation. It helps with intonation, fluency, and even listening comprehension. By mimicking native speakers, you train your brain and mouth to process English the way they do. It's like giving your speaking muscles a workout.
I love that analogy. So how does someone start shadowing?
It's simple. Here's a step-by-step guide. 1. Pick a short audio clip you enjoy. It could be a scene from a movie, a podcast episode, or even a favorite song. 2. Listen to one sentence at a time. Pause after each sentence to focus. 3. Repeat immediately after the speaker, matching their tone, speed, and pronunciation. 4th. Record yourself to compare your version with the original.
That sounds doable. But what if someone can't mimic perfectly?
That's totally fine, Lisa. The goal isn't perfection, but progress. Don't stress about sounding 100% like a native speaker. The key is to get better bit by bit. And remember, every little effort counts.
Do you have any tips for finding the right materials to practice shadowing?
It is not so important to know everything as to appreciate what we learn. Beginner, cartoons like Peppa Pig or simple audio clips with slow, clear pronunciation. Intermediate, TV shows like Friends or The Big Bang Theory with conversational language. Advanced, TED Talks, audiobooks, or podcasts with more complex topics and diverse accents.
I see. And how much time should someone spend on shadowing each day?
Even just 5 to 10 minutes a day can make a big difference. The key is consistency. You can shadow while walking, cooking, or even during a short break. The more often you do it, the faster you'll see results.
That's great advice. I imagine it could be a bit tiring at first, though.
Yes, it can be, but like any new habit, it gets easier over time. Think of it like going to the gym. Your first workout might feel tough, but the more you do it, the stronger you become. After just a few weeks of regular shadowing, you'll notice your pronunciation improving, your confidence growing, and your sentences flowing more naturally.
It sounds like shadowing is really effective. But does it only help with speaking, or does it improve other skills too?
Great question. Shadowing actually helps with several skills. For one, it improves listening comprehension because you're tuning into how words are spoken, including tricky sounds and connected speech. It also expands your vocabulary. You pick up new words in context, which makes them easier to remember. And of course, it makes you sound more natural by improving your intonation.
That's amazing. Do you have any success stories about shadowing?
Definitely. One of my students, Anna, used to feel shy about speaking in English. She started shadowing her favorite TV show, The Office, for just 10 minutes a day. She focused on mimicking the characters' casual conversations. After a month, she noticed huge improvements in her fluency and even started adding humor to her own speaking style.
That's so inspiring. It really shows the power of consistent practice.
It does, and I always tell my students, shadowing doesn't have to feel like a chore. Choose materials you love, whether it's a song, a scene from your favorite movie, or even a funny YouTube video. When you're having fun, learning becomes much easier.
That's such a positive note to end on, John. It's clear that shadowing is a simple but powerful tool for anyone looking to speak English well. All right, it's time for our fun fact segment. John, did you know that English has the most extensive vocabulary of any language, with over 1 million words?
Wow, no wonder English learners sometimes feel overwhelmed.
Right? But here's the catch. Most conversations use only about 3,000 words.
That's encouraging. It shows that you don't need to learn every word to be fluent.
Exactly. Focus on the most common words and phrases, and you'll get far. Well, John, this has been such an insightful discussion. Thank you for sharing your tips on speaking English well.
Thank you, Lisa. It was a pleasure, and I hope our listeners feel motivated to practice and improve their English skills.
To our listeners, remember, speaking English well isn't about being perfect. It's about communicating and connecting. So, go out there, practice, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. Thank you for tuning in to the Simple English Podcast. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you next time. Let's dive into some new vocabulary from today's podcast. These words will not only enhance your English skills, but also deepen your understanding of health and weight loss concepts. Ready? Let's get started. First breakdown. Meaning, to analyze or explain in detail. Example, let's break down this complex topic into simple steps. Second countless. Meaning, too many to be counted, numerous. Example, he has helped countless students achieve their goals. Third, thrilled. Meaning, extremely happy or excited. Example, I was thrilled to hear about your promotion. Fourth judgment. Meaning, the act of forming an opinion about someone or something. Example, fear of judgment often stops people from expressing themselves. Fifth technique. Meaning, a way of carrying out a particular task, especially a skillful one. Example, shadowing is a popular technique for improving pronunciation. Sixth rhythm. Meaning, a regular repeated pattern of sounds or movements. Example, you need to mimic the rhythm of native speakers to sound natural. Seventh pronunciation. Meaning, the way in which a word is spoken. Example, improving your pronunciation can boost your confidence in speaking. 8. Listening comprehension. Meaning, the ability to understand spoken language. Example, shadowing improves listening comprehension by training you to focus on sounds and words. Ninth accent. Meaning, a distinctive way of pronouncing a language, often associated with a particular country or region. Example, her British accent makes her English sound elegant. Pataw dumahimik, meaning to imitate someone's speech, movements, or behavior. Example, to improve your pronunciation, mimic native speakers as closely as possible. 11th casual, meaning relaxed and unconcerned, suitable for everyday use. Example, the show uses casual conversations that are perfect for language learners. 12th, overwhelmed, meaning feeling an intense amount of pressure or emotion. Example, many English learners feel overwhelmed by the vast vocabulary, but it's okay to start small. Thank you for listening to our episode. I hope you learned something new and helpful today. Please give us a like and subscribe for video like this, share it with your friends, and let us know what you think in the comments section below. We'll be back with more interesting discussions soon.